Major breaking news happened about an hour before we were going to start recording, so we have to talk about this instead. We'll talk about the shower thoughts next week. So we'll put the tweet on the screen from Shams Charania. The Buss family is entering an agreement to sell majority ownership of the Los Angeles Lakers to Mark Walter, the CEO and chairman of a diversified holding company, TWG Global. Sources tell ESPN. Jeannie Buss will continue to serve in her new role as the governor after the sale, kind of like what Mark Cuban did in the transition when the Adelsons, I think, bought the Mavs.
Okay.
But he wanted to quote tweet his own tweet saying, Mark Walter is entering an agreement to purchase majority ownership of the Lakers from the Buss family for a valuation of, bless you, for a valuation of approximately $10 billion, the largest sale of a professional sports franchise in the world of all time in history. And that was for a majority stake. So we're talking like that could be anything from 51% to likely 65, 70, depending on, how much equity the Busses had originally.
Wow.
So absolutely massive, just kind of blew everything out of the water. Some other stats before we get over to y'all's thoughts. We saw, obviously, the Grusbecks sold the Celtics for $6.1 billion. And we just saw Mark Cuban sell his stake in the Mavs for $3.5 billion. What's even crazier is that the Buss family purchased the Lakers in 1979 for $67.5 million. And they just sold it for $10 billion.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Well, they majority stake. I probably would have been for a little more if it was the whole team.
I mean, I can tell you Dolan's probably looking at this right now, thinking like, I could sell the entirety of the Knicks for 25 easily.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So what are y'all's thoughts?
First of all, I disagree with that last statement. I think the Lakers brand of basketball, like their brand, the Laker brand is bigger than the Knicks brand.
The Knicks, I think, still have a higher valuation.
Do they?
Yes. I
That's
believe the
actually
Knicks are the
surprising.
highest valued
We
basketball
could look
team.
that up.
Yeah, check that because
Yeah.
I feel like the Lakers.
Yeah, I think the Knicks are a little higher.
Well, the Lakers probably just jumped them because of how much the equity went for.
Yeah.
But, according to the Forbes lists, the Golden State Warriors actually might be above the Knicks now after
Yeah.
everything of that nature.
I would think so.
But they're all kind of the Warriors are worth $9 billion, the Knicks are worth 7.7.
Yeah.
So the Lakers are going to vault to the top as
Right.
they always do. So
And the Celtics are probably above the Knicks as well.
the Knicks are number 2.
Oh, the Knicks are number 2.
Yeah, the Celtics are
Yeah.
4. But what are y'all's thoughts?
Oof. I mean, listen, you got to cash in eventually because, things always go up in price, especially in sports. And a little backstory, what's his name? Mark Walters?
Yeah.
Mark Walters is also the owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So he's literally doing a clean sweep of the Los Angeles teams right now, besides the Rams because they're owned by the Kroenkes, like the Nuggets are.
Well, because they were originally in
Yeah.
they played in LA, but they were in St.
yes,
Louis
correct.
for all those times.
Yes, so
Wow.
the Dodgers, just so you know for reference, don't care about money. They pay everybody. So but this is the only difference that is that the NBA will penalize them for overpaying because of the aprons. The MLB does not have that yet. They only have luxury tax, which is anything
Yeah.
at all. So the NBA owner coming in now is going to have some little issues with that. Maybe he'll go over the aprons. Who cares? Maybe he'll do that. But he'll lose draft capital, right?
You're dealing with a totally different league because MLB is a league. The NBA is an association. So the players have a lot more power than a league system would work. And they're not going to allow like Giannis to sign for a $700 million contract and they defer
Exactly.
600 of it
Yeah.
till 2041. That's just
Yeah.
not how it's going to work.
Yeah.
So there will be adjustment periods, and that's mainly a Todd Bowley thing with the deferred money.
Yep,
When he bought Chelsea,
exactly.
he's signing guys to like prison length contracts. It's
Yep.
insane. So
Remember that.
crazy. But Gio, what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
this massive breaking developing story?
Yeah. I'm just very surprised that Jeannie Buss would do this. I feel like the Buss family, they've owned the Lakers for how long?
Since 1979 was when they
Yeah.
bought the team.
Yeah, so it's kind of surprising. They kind of built this brand, this Laker basketball brand that, kind of carry the NBA or half carry the NBA. So I'm just surprised. Maybe the current owners, as of now, couldn't really handle the burden that you have to be able to handle to be in ownership and full ownership of a team. Maybe that's what it was, but
I think I may have
just
found the
surprised.
reason.
Yeah.
So if I can put this on the screen, I will. It's a Reddit thread from r/NBA. saying, why are the Buss family selling the Lakers? And my dad had been talking to me about this before I left to come here, saying that there are siblings in the family. And obviously, Jerry Buss, their father, passed away in 2013. So when someone passes away, you deal with, who's on the will,
Yeah.
what trust goes to what, everything like that. You get the life insurance policies, all that stuff. And it said, might be because of how their trust is set up. If any of the 6 Buss kids dies, that share in the trust gets evenly divided amongst the surviving siblings. It's basically like Darwinism, the last man standing, survival of the fittest, stuff like that. It's all going to end up in Joey and Jesse's hands, who I imagine are, the siblings or the kids of Jeannie Buss, because I don't know what their family's tree is like, because I'm just not a creep.
Yeah.
But that could be a big factor. And I know my dad said there was disputes between the siblings in the Buss family. Maybe they just wanted to just take the money and run at this point.
Wow.
Because think about it, if more loss comes down the line, it's really it could divide families. That's how drama starts. Money literally is, money's everything.
The root of all evil.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, listen, Jeannie can cash in. She's still going to have her job. A lot of sports teams go through family stuff. I'm a Yankee fan. I see it myself every day with our owner, which is, of course, the son of George Steinbrenner, who was one of the greatest owners to ever live. And he's not the same as his father was. So we always trash him every day, whenever he does something wrong.
What's his name?
Hal.
Hal.
Yeah. He's not as ruthless as his father was. He's more of the business side of baseball, and we don't like that.
George is the reason why these athletes make this kind of money.
Yeah, that's true.
Because those baseball players back in the day would have to work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Because they were getting paid normal salary, like 10, 20, 30K a year, depending on what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, we can go off a lot of teams that have family ownership just because how it is.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about the Buss family, but I'm sure however old they are, if they're within our age or a little older, there may be some disputes about who gets what when Jeannie Buss moves on, or even maybe she didn't want to sell it to them. Maybe she thought they were unfit to run this team when she passes on.
I'll tell you what, if I was in the Buss family, they wouldn't have sold it.
Well,
I'll tell you why.
Going to keep that.
Huh?
You were just going to keep that forever.
Yeah, bro. We're locking it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This the family business.
And doing everything right.
It's too bad it wasn't
Yeah.
Giovanni Buss. If you know what I mean? Lakers would have still been the Buss family.
Yeah, I mean,
You would have signed Russell Westbrook to a supermax contract.
No, we would have drafted him.
But did you like Russ in college? Or?
I did.
Oh, okay, fair.
UCLA guy.
You're a true Russ stan, as you will.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm also surprised at Mark Walters.
Walter.
Mark
What does he do? Because he already owns a team. He's going big time, isn't he?
Well,
2 teams
look-
in LA. That's big time.
Look at Denver, for example. You have four big 4 sports teams, right? You have the Nuggets, you have the Rockies, you have the Broncos, and you have the Avalanche. The Avalanche won a title in 2022. The Nuggets won in 2023. The Broncos are starting to play good now, but they were in purgatory for a long time. And the Rockies are on pace to be the worst MLB team in history.
Yep.
What do you specifically notice, Antoine, about those 4 teams?
Oh, about those.
Because there's one clear-cut reason as to why.
Why the Rockies are so bad?
No, of why are the Rockies and Broncos, why are they struggling, and why are
Oh, the ownership's awful.
exactly? Because the Cronkies own the Nuggets and the Avalanche. They don't own the Rockies or the Broncos. So when you see a team that's maybe struggling, and the Lakers have always been struggling since the early dynasty days and everything like that, since the 2010s kind of came about, they did win the one championship, but LA is supposed to be this big time market with the best sports teams ever. Look at New York. We've seen 2 smaller teams win titles in the past decade. We haven't seen a Big 4 team win since the 2012 or 2013 Giants. So
Yeah.
shout out to Liberty and shout out NYCFC, but
Yeah.
the casual fans unfortunately don't care about that, and that's the worst part. So with LA, obviously the Dodgers are one of the premier teams in the MLB. The Lakers should be back up in that situation. I think Walter sees that, and he wants to try and make his mark on it. And who else is there? The Kings haven't done anything for a while. And what's the other? Who am I missing? Oh, the Rams and the Chargers.
The Rams and the Chargers.
The Rams, I haven't watched football in so long.
The Rams won a Super Bowl
won the
back in
Super Bowl, yeah.
2019, 2020.
So
They're mid right
yeah,
now.
you're a hater, so it's fine.
No, they actually are.
But well, they are now, but
But
They
I mean,
weren't.
yeah. So this is him basically trying to build the Lakers up as the next dynasty. And that's
Yeah.
what, that would basically make the NBA thrive because it's clear the Nets and Knicks aren't going anywhere anytime soon. It's clear the Clippers keep
Yeah.
getting stuck in their own mess.
And, it is smart on Jeannie Buss's part to sell to someone in her own backyard that knows the market and media very well.
And Magic Johnson's got part stake in the Dodgers too, so it makes sense.
It's a whole celebrity group that is built up of like a lot of people that all have stake in it. So like, I mean, just keep it keep it with Mark Walters clearly right now for a long time because, he's been branding the Dodgers really good for a long time. And now the Lakers will probably do the same.
Yeah.
And, maybe build a team that is going to be like them.
So he's good with baseball. So let's see how good he is with basketball.
He's
See
very
if it translates.
He's good with baseball, but what he's doing in baseball will not be tolerated in the NBA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's restrictions on the cap and everything like that.
Right.
You can't defer contracts in the NBA.
Right.
You basically have the option to either split it completely down the contract length. So if you sign, let's say you sign 4-year, $80 million, you're either getting paid $20 mil per year. You can front load it where you get most of your money in the first year, like Nick Claxton's contract, and you get less and less as it goes on because players want the most guaranteed money possible. Or you do what most players do. You sign 4 years for 80 mil. Let's say you make, say you make 10 mil your first year,
Yeah.
then you make 15, and then it just keeps climbing on up. That's why Cat is going to be making 66 mil in 2027.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I'm also curious about the motivations behind Mark Walters buying the Lakers. Like, what is he trying to do? Take over the city of LA?
Basically.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
imagine saying you own two professional sport. Like, I own the Lakers and the Dot. Like, could you imagine?
The two bigger teams in LA.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and but like if like you're him and Jeannie Buss calls you saying, "Hey, I want to sell the team," like you're the only person I want to sell it to. Like, let's
Right.
get talking. Like, what do you want? Like, what's going on?
Right.
You're not gonna say no.
No. And you
That's the
want,
thing.
you want LA
Pretty
to
crazy.
be, there are other things too that could factor in. I'm just thinking hypothetics here, but, MetLife Stadium got the World Cup final.
Yeah.
He's probably pissed the hell off that SoFi's not getting it.
They should get it.
Yeah,
He wants LA to be the big marquee city. But, at this current moment in time, it's not. Not that New York really is either because the finals in Jersey are our backyard.
Yes.
But, I
Jersey.
exactly. So I can understand that part if that is true, but it's just me assuming things. But there's definitely a lot of reasons as to why they wanted to do this. And for Jeannie Buss, I guess she just felt now was the right time, and I can't judge her for that.
Yeah.
It's not my money.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
you won't know what you have until it's gone. And at the end of the day, $10 billion is objectively insane. And this is just the beginning. With this new TV contract, could you imagine, I can't even imagine the next big team that gets sold. Like, if Joe Tsai sells the Brooklyn Nets, it's not going to go, I don't think it'll go for 10, but the whole franchise might go for 10 because Brooklyn isn't a big market. And it would be insane depending on how that works out.
Yeah.
So, obviously, congratulations to Mark Walter. Congratulations to the Buss family. And, let's see how long Rob Pelinka's leash is now.
That is true.
So, we'll have to see.
He's
But
out of there.
I don't know. They just
could
signed him to an extension.
He's
So
gone.
Yeah.
we'll have to see.